Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. The old saying goes that all roads lead to Rome. For centuries, this phrase captured the immense power and connectivity of one of history's greatest empires. But what if I told you that our map of those roads has been wrong? Or at least, woefully incomplete. For generations, our picture of the Roman road network was pieced together from crumbling milestones and fragmented texts. Today, a new kind of archaeologist is redrawing that map, not with shovels, but with lasers, satellites, and powerful algorithms. This is the world of digital archaeology, and it's revealing that the arteries of the Roman Empire were vaster, more complex, and more surprising than we ever imagined. Let's dive in. The traditional image of archaeology involves slow, painstaking excavation. While that's still vital, the new digital toolkit allows us to explore ancient landscapes on an unprecedented scale without ever breaking ground. The star of this new toolkit is a technology called LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging. Imagine an airplane firing millions of laser pulses at the ground every second. By measuring how long each pulse takes to bounce back, scientists can create an incredibly detailed 3D map of the terrain. The magic of LiDAR is its ability to digitally see through things like forests and modern buildings, revealing subtle bumps and lines on the ground that are completely invisible to the naked eye. For those hunting Roman roads, this has been a game changer. In the United Kingdom, for example, the government released its LiDAR data to the public. This sparked a wave of discoveries by both professionals and amateurs. Lost Roman roads often appear in this data as a faint, but clear raised line. This is the agger, the central cambered core of the road, often flanked by drainage ditches. One of the most famous stories is of a retired road engineer named David Ratledge. For 45 years, he searched for a particular Roman road in Lancashire. With LiDAR data, he found a 23-mile stretch of it, connecting Ribchester and Lancaster. It was there all along, hidden in plain sight. This isn't just about adding lines to a map. In rugged places like Cumbria, LiDAR proved the exact course of the Maiden Way, a strategic road connecting Roman forts. Discoveries like these are rewriting the history of how Rome conquered and controlled its most distant provinces. The other key tool is GIS, or Geographic Information Systems. Think of GIS as the digital workbench where all this new data comes together. It allows researchers to layer different kinds of information: LiDAR scans, satellite photos, historical maps, and locations of artifacts like coins or pottery. By layering this data, hidden patterns emerge. For instance, if archaeologists find an ancient Roman bridge pier and, several miles away, a small section of paved road, they can use GIS to calculate the most efficient route between them. This is called a least cost path analysis, and it takes into account hills, valleys, and rivers to predict the most likely course the Roman engineers would have chosen. This predictive model can then tell archaeologists exactly where to focus their future ground searches. These tools are powerful, but what happens when you apply them to the entire Roman Empire? You get something like Orbis. Developed by a team at Stanford University, the Orbis project is often nicknamed the Google Maps for ancient Rome. But it's so much more than a static map. Orbis is a dynamic simulator that reconstructs the time and, crucially, the cost of travel across the Roman world around the year 200 CE. It's a network model that includes thousands of cities, over 60,000 kilometers of roads, and nearly 30,000 kilometers of river and sea lanes. The genius of Orbis is that it models how people and goods actually moved. You can choose your mode of transport, from a soldier on a rapid march, to a slow-moving ox cart, to various types of sailing ships. The model is so detailed, it even accounts for seasonal changes. If you want to sail in the Mediterranean, Orbis uses modern data on winds and currents to simulate the performance of a Roman-era ship in summer versus winter. The power of this is that it shifts our perspective from simple geographic distance to the much more historically important concepts of time and cost. A journey overland from the city of Ravenna in Italy to Aventicum in modern-day Switzerland would have taken about 23 days. But a sea voyage from that same city of Ravenna all the way to Athens, a much longer distance on a map, would have taken less than half the time and been significantly cheaper. This has profound implications for how we understand the Roman economy and the very structure of the empire. Orbis shows that the Roman world wasn't defined by straight lines on a map, but by the flow of travel. Coastal regions and areas connected by major rivers were far more integrated and accessible to the imperial core in Rome. Remote inland areas, even if they were geographically closer, were effectively much farther away. The model can even generate distance cartograms, maps that are distorted to show how far places were in terms of travel time or cost, giving a stunning visual of the true shape of Roman connectivity. It reveals an empire connected not by land, but by water. While Orbis was a groundbreaking tool, it was also a snapshot in time, and it focused primarily on the main arterial routes. This left researchers hungry for more. Spurred on by a frustration with fragmented data, an international team recently unveiled a monumental new resource called Itinerary. This is the most detailed and comprehensive open-access digital map of the Roman road system ever created. The team, from institutions across Europe, undertook the painstaking process of compiling information from everywhere they could find it. They used archaeological reports, ancient texts like the Antonine Itinerary, a database of over 8,000 Roman milestones, old historical maps, and modern remote sensing data, including satellite imagery and even declassified Cold War spy photos. The results are simply staggering. Itinerary has nearly doubled the known length of the Roman road network. Previous estimates hovered around 188,000 kilometers. The new map documents a staggering 171 kilometers of roads. That's enough road to circle the Earth more than 7 times. A huge part of this increase came from better documenting roads in previously understudied regions, like the Iberian Peninsula, Greece, and North Africa. The team also took a more realistic approach, tracing the winding paths the roads would have taken through mountains and valleys, rather than just drawing straight lines between cities. But perhaps the most important contribution of Itinerary is its new level of detail. It makes a crucial distinction between main roads, the highways of the empire, and secondary roads, the country lanes. The map details about 103,000 kilometers of main roads and a massive 195,000 kilometers of secondary roads. This focus on the smaller, less glamorous roads is vital. It gives us an unprecedented look at the day-to-day economic life of the empire, showing how not just major cities but individual farms, villas, and local markets were all connected in a dense local web. Now here's a crucial point that speaks to the scientific honesty of the project. The creators of Itinerary knew that they couldn't be sure about every single road. So they tagged each of the nearly 15,000 road segments with a level of certainty: certain, conjectured, or hypothetical. The results are a sobering reminder of how much we still don't know. Only 2.7% of the road locations are known with certainty, meaning they've been confirmed by archaeological excavation. The vast majority, nearly 90%, are conjectured. Their paths are inferred from a combination of historical sources and topographical analysis. Another 7.4% are hypothetical, representing plausible connections where we currently have no physical evidence at all. This transparency is a massive step forward. It transforms the map from a static, finished product into what the creators call a living tool. It's a roadmap for future research, highlighting exactly where archaeologists need to dig to confirm these ancient routes. So what do all these new maps and models actually tell us? They are allowing historians to ask completely new questions and challenge old narratives. By quantifying the cost and time of transport, researchers can create far more sophisticated models of the Roman economy. They can see how the transport network fueled trade, and how better connected regions became more economically powerful. a pattern that may have persisted long after the empire fell. But this incredible connectivity had a dark side. The same roads that carried soldiers and grain also served as terrifyingly efficient conduits for disease. Researchers are now using these network models to better understand how ancient pandemics, like the devastating Antonine Plague in the 2nd century CE, spread through the empire. They can map the potential pathways of contagion, offering new insights into one of history's great demographic catastrophes. And what about that old saying, all roads lead to Rome? Well, the digital analysis has revealed a much more nuanced picture. One study using the new Itinerary data looked at which areas had the densest networks for land-based travel. Surprisingly, it wasn't Rome. The biggest hubs for overland travel were in the Po Valley and the Alpine corridors of northern Italy. It was only when the researchers factored in sea and river routes that Rome emerged as the true, dominant center of the entire network. This perfectly illustrates the point made by Orbis. To understand the Roman Empire, you have to understand travel by water. This entire revolution is built on the hard work of numerous regional projects, like Viator E in the Iberian Peninsula and Minerva in North Africa and the Near East. These smaller projects provided the detailed local data that made the empire-wide Itinerary map possible. So where do we go from here? It's crucial to remember the limitations of these amazing digital tools. There's a danger of what some call visual seduction, where a beautifully rendered map can create a false sense of certainty. These models are not a replacement for traditional fieldwork. They are a guide for it. Physically verifying the data on the ground remains essential. The next big challenge is time. Most of these models are a snapshot, usually from the height of the empire. But the road network evolved over centuries. Building a dynamic map that shows this evolution is the next great frontier. The future of this field lies in even greater collaboration and more advanced technology. Artificial intelligence and machine learning may soon automate the process of finding potential roads in LiDAR data. The journey to fully map the arteries of the Roman Empire is far from over. In many ways, this digital chapter has only just begun. We are not just redrawing a map. We are revealing the intricate, dynamic systems of connectivity that made the Roman world possible. And it turns out, those ancient roads still have many secrets left to tell. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.